Ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic showdown between the forces of good, justice, and truth, led by Iraq under the leadership of President Saddam Hussein, and between the forces of aggression led by the United States. The Iraqi people are well prepared to accept this challenge and showdown. We express our allegiance to President Saddam Hussein, the leader of this nation.
نفديك يا صدام.
كل عليك لا لا كل اهلك انا اريد اجيب بس صار عندنا حاله هناك واجاني بس قبل اليوم طبعا صوبا نجيكم لا صار
اتهمت بهاي الشغله مالي سعودي يعني وعلى هذا الاساس خلتني
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الذين قال لهم الناس وقالوا حسبنا الله ونعم الوكيل. صدق الله العظيم. أيتها الأخوات والأخوة أعضاء المجلس الوطني الأعزاء، إن جلستنا هذه تعقد هذا اليوم وقطرنا الغالي يتهيأ لمواجهة عدوان ظالم ضارع.
This National Assembly, as a constitutional institution, expresses opinions regarding the present developments, and especially that regards the policy of arrogance shown by the United States, which has been persistently repeated by the first person in the United States in order to prevent any kind of peaceful and just solutions to this crisis. This man in the United States persisted in repeating threats, trying to impose unjust solutions on us, and also to discuss the measures taken by the United States in other words, that the Geneva meeting between the Iraqi foreign minister and the US Secretary of State, the aim of which was to get to Iraq the position of the United States and to reject any kind of dialogue or negotiations with the aim of finding just solutions to the crisis. The Americans have perpetuated their stand by granting Bush the power to use force, and this has been done by the support given or shown by Congress to his policies, despite that the results of the voting on this use of power have shown that there is tremendous rejection of the decision of war within Congress, because the difference in the voting was only 5 votes. 52 favored the issue of war, while those who rejected were 47. And in the House of Representatives, the percentage was also very close, which shows that there is truly a large number of the American people who reject the idea of war, who believe in peace, because they know very well the consequences of war. Now we see that the United States is further escalating the situation through remarks, statements, sending over further troops to the area, while we, over the last time, repeated our position that we prefer dialogue. But again, we would like to stress that as people of honor and dignity, we reject any policy based on aggression and threats. We will never succumb to these threats, and we are ready for a showdown. And if the United States decides to launch a war against Iraq, the United States will be the only party responsible directly in front of mankind, and not only the Arabs. It will be responsible for this catastrophe, because you know very well, ladies and gentlemen, that a war in this region would bring about unimaginable catastrophes, not only to the region but to the entire world. And the impact of this war would adversely affect the future of the United States itself. Iraq had put forward whatever it could do in order to prevent or stave off a war. And this position has not been adopted by Iraq only after the 2nd of August, but this has always been the policy of Iraq. When Iraq uncovered the conspiracy, the American conspiracy, the Arab conspiracy against Iraq, Iraq warned these people about the existence of a conspiracy and the schemes and the intrigues made against Iraq, and this was made clear when Iraqi Foreign Minister Tariq Aziz visited the United States in 1989, and his meeting with the US State Secretary. Mr. Aziz explained to the State Secretary everything about this conspiracy, and our friends in the Arab world, including King Hussein of Jordan, also informed the United States that they were following a wrong policy of conspiring against Iraq, rejecting all kind of tyranny and oppression, which is demonstrated by the United States and its puppet Israel through the policies of aggression, aiming at imposing and dictating whatever they like, and in order to perpetrate their own illegal schemes in the region through threatening and also to have domination over this world. This is done through hegemony in the entire area and control Arab oil, using the United States to blackmail this nation. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a historic showdown between the forces of good, justice, and truth, led by Iraq under the leadership of President Saddam Hussein. On one side, and between the forces of aggression led by the United States, which has a history of tyranny, oppression, and arrogance. The showdown has put the entire mankind on a crossroad, and upon whose consequences the entire destiny of the world depends. The winning of Iraq and the victory achieved by the entire Islamic and freedom fighters in the world, and those who support freedom, mankind will get over once and for all over the injustice which was sustained thanks to the aggressive policies of the United States over a long time. This showdown, ladies and gentlemen, have demonstrated unequivocally the falsehood of the slogans and the pretexts presented by the United States and its allies in order to deceive the nations over quite some time. And now you can see and look at the slogans of democracy, freedom, human rights, which the West always claimed to protect. Now we see all these slogans are only empty words without any sense, any real meaning or content, as this was seen through the behavior and the manners of these states, that they are trading with these states in order to mislead the nations and deceive these nations, so that they could, in the final analysis, implement their policies of aggression, and in order to make things easier for them to manipulate and plunder the riches of these nations, with disregard to international and human values. And this has been repeated again and again in inhumane way, without any sense to the real meaning of freedom, democracy, and human rights. Ladies and gentlemen, today we meet together to declare by the name of our heroic people and to the Arab nation and the entire mankind, we reject the policy of threats and the imposition of a policy of aggression, and to use force in order to manipulate this people and in order to undermine our independence. We declare that the deployment of these forces on our borders and on the Holy Lands of Saudi Arabia, this is seen as a flagrant violation of the Arab values and feelings, and also a violation of this sovereignty and their honor and sanctities. We stress here that the Iraqi people are well prepared to accept this challenge and showdown, and our determination to abide by our just rights and also to make further sacrifices for the sake of its just principles and issues, at the forefront of which comes the Palestinian question and the right of the Arab Palestinian people to independence, return, and the establishment of an independent state on the land of Palestine, all Palestine. We call upon the international community, and at the forefront is the superpowers and the great powers, to respect the will of the peoples, their choices, and also to stop the intervening in their own domestic issues or imposing policies which are detrimental to their own interests or ambitions, which are just and legitimate. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to call upon the Arab people and the Islamic people, the entire mankind, to get united and to close ranks in the face of injustice, US injustice, before it's too late and before things get worse. All freedom-loving nations and the nations of the world who would like to see justice prevail, who would like to see peace and security prevail in the world, they are called upon most demandingly today that they should declare their rejection of the US aggressive policies, and also to condemn strongly this twisted attitude which was demonstrated by the double standard shown by the United States when they were dealing with the issues of the world and their problems. And for the sake of human rights, freedom, and peace, without which the people of the region have no hope at all, neither the third world countries, to implement their ambitions or live a stable life, honorable life, and prosperous life. For the sake of all this, we call upon all the freedom fighters of the world to demonstrate protesting the US policy of aggression in the region, demanding that the United States should take into considerations the interest of the entire mankind and to leave the entire area alone, and also that they should withdraw their fleets, their forces from Saudi Arabia and from the entire Gulf region in order to stave off an international conflagration with incalculable consequences, or the time this showdown might take. This war, ladies and gentlemen, is to the interest of nobody at all. Only the United States will get benefit, and Israel will get benefit from this war, as well as the traitors of the Arab nation, the Arab rulers whose thrones have been shaken because of their treason. Ladies and gentlemen, we declare from this state that we express our allegiance to President Saddam Hussein, the leader of this nation, and until the dream of the Arab nation would become true. This dream, which has been made possible only through sacrifices, that's to say, Arab unity, without which the Arabs would remain weak and oppressed and unable to protect themselves and their sanctities and their wealth. There are those who are hatching conspiracies against this nation, who have been plundering the wealth of the Arab nation unjustly and without any trouble. So let's all go to holy war, to jihad. Let's get into this war. I call upon all Arabs to start a holy war. All Muslims under the banner of Allahu Akbar, God is gracious. And this is our motto in our showdown, in our just showdown against the evil forces. And God be gracious, and the honor will be for the honorable people. And thank you very much.